go green in just a few seconds. Pace car is moving off the track here, and we are green flag sign. We are green here. We are green here for the green group on turn 3.
And Will Waldron, your winner earlier on this morning in SP3, and John Patton, they're going to go side by side. A little bit further back, Ken Agnall in that number 5 machine. He's going to 57 machine. Excuse me. He's going to move a little bit down to driver's right. I think the car that's going to get the good run is the 78 of Gene Raimondi in that blue Boxster, that 2004 Boxster. It looks like he's going to be able to sit there just to the left of Ken Agnall in that 57 as they come through the left-hander. Get ready to make the right-hander right there. There you see it. There's Agnall. He's going to have the driver's line going through there. Raimondi's going to have to back up a little bit. Also, you've got the white Boxster there of Noah Mazzola in that number 5, and that's Spec Boxster. He got a great start on this. It looks like he's going to move all the way up to 3rd when we complete this first lap. And then Ken Agnall in that 57 is going to drop back and forth along with Gene Raimondi in that blue Boxster in the 50.
Keep a look on those times. Mentioned, yes, Will Waldron, that's car number 7. Quite an impressive showing this morning. A lot has changed in the last few hours. We've seen all sorts of weather conditions, and keep an eye out on how they evolve. Look on my other screen here. Things seem to be cool for this race. We think it's going to be about the same conditions. Again, the track is back to being saturated again, so we probably won't see much of an improvement unless things slow down for the next hour.
Yeah, one of the things we need to check on here, Andreas, is we may have dropped the races down to 20 minutes here for this afternoon just because of the delay that we had with the weather. We're showing 18 minutes here left to go in this race. Normally we had 30, so I believe they may have dropped it down to 20 minutes to save some time to get done. But Andreas, I know you have a special guest up here.
That's right, yeah.
Why don't we go ahead and talk to him for a couple minutes as these drivers start to get single filed out.
That's right, and next line, yes, we have special guest live in the tower here, Aaron Ebertsino, PCA Club President and PCA Club Racer, very important to mention. Aaron, thank you so much for being here. Really appreciate your time. Thanks for joining us up here in the tower. First want to mention, how are you today? What's your thoughts on the races today and yesterday when we were here at Limelight Park?
Yeah, no, I'd like to start with yesterday. It was a much nicer day, and 2 practices were really good in qualifying. And it was great that the organizers made the decision to move the 1 sprint race to yesterday afternoon. So it was a great race, a lot of hard racing, a lot of clean racing, which is always great to see. Folks did a great job. Today, completely different story with the weather. Rain pretty much all day, a couple breaks here and there, which always makes it tough on the drivers going from wet, to a downpour. And then some racers are lucky enough to get a little bit of a dry line today. So it's just been kind of all over the board for the racers today, so it takes a lot of effort and concentration on their part to drive this kind of condition.
Yeah, and talked a little bit, Brian and I talked in the opening part of this broadcast today about the historic relationship between PCA, CBR, and Limelight Park. Limelight Park is quite unique. It's been here since 1957. Talk a little bit about the relationship that PCA and CBR have, and then again with Limelight Park.
Yeah, for this year's 33rd year that they've been doing the club race here, and they've been deemed a whole lot longer. And this track has a little bit of a special connection to me. I grew up about an hour and a half from here, and about 35 years ago, my father brought me to my very first meeting at this track. So it holds a special place for me. We've got a lot of laps here, and PCA has been, again, DEing and club racing here for a long time. It's just a fantastic, historic track here. And, again, I'm a huge fan as it's so close to my house. And I get out here for the club race and usually for a handful of DEs during the years.
Thanks, Aaron. One thing, too, is we talked a little about, we have 91 racers here today. So what message would you have for those on the fence maybe wanting to make the trek out for next year? Next April, about a year from now. It goes by fast.
Yeah, I was talking to a couple of the other racers in the paddock, and I can't believe we're back here already. It's getting into club racing can seem a little bit intimidating. It's a little bit different than DE with the open passing and the starts, but I'll tell you, once you do it, it is just it's outrageously amazing. I remember about 7 years ago when I did my first race, and that first start, it seemed like chaos, but it was the most intense thing I'd ever experienced. So if there's any folks in the DE arena that are thinking about club racing, there's a lot of great resources PCA has to get you started. So I encourage you to reach out to somebody from the club race program, and they're happy to help you through it. And I'll tell you, once you make the jump, you'll say, I don't know why I waited so long to do it.
Thanks. Brian, any words for Aaron while we still have him? This is great to have him on here.
Yeah, one of the things that we were talking right before we came on live is that he said his car is sitting in the trailer. And I got to tell you, Aaron, that is probably one of the best decisions you probably have made in your entire life, because here we are racing this group right here as we watch Alex Al go through turn number 1 there. And I tell you what, the difficulty that they're having, again, talking about your car again, leaving it up in the, was there potential for you to race this weekend as well and then changing your mind because of the weather? Or is it just because, hey, there's so much going on, it's probably better just to not bring this thing out?
No, so, again, after racing on such a great day yesterday, before I left, I said, I better put on the rain tires. I said, this way, if it rains, I'm not making that change in the morning in the wet. So I put the rain tires on. I rolled it into the trailer. I said, this way it'll be nice and dry for the morning. And then when I got here and just kept looking at the forecast and seeing, the amount of rain, the intensity of the rain, the decision was made that I, bring it home in the same condition I brought it here, with a little less rubber on the tires, a little less gas in the tank, and a little less liners on the brake. So it's just a decision to keep the car safe, keep me safe, and the plan is to see you guys at Watkins Glen, in a month and a half, and do some racing there as well. So there'll be another day to get it out and have some fun.
Yeah, I tell you what, if we can, let's leave this shot right here. Let's follow these 2 cars right here, Spencer, if we can. That's the number 5 of Noah Mazzola, along with the 029 there, Robbie Wilson. That is the battle for Spec Boxster, for the lead in Spec Boxster. So again, these 2 drivers really, really working hard to keep everything they can underneath them. Last time by the start-finish line, 0.8 of a second. And right as we were coming back, when we were talking with Aaron there about keeping his car in, Robbie Wilson started to go side by side in with Noah Mazzola, and basically thought better of it and backed out of it. When he got completely out of it, it ended up being where Noah was able to open up that gap.
Brian, I'm looking at the times here. I mean, Will Waldron, John Patton, and Ken Agna, these are the top racers. These guys have not skipped a beat since this morning. It seems like they picked right up where they left off. Looking at the times, though, a little bit slower than this morning, and that reflects the wrenching that we just had over the last half hour with another storm cell moving into the area. So quite dynamic conditions, again, as we're seeing throughout this whole day here.
Yeah. And one of the things you notice here, and Aaron, this is really for you as well, because you raced on this racetrack, and that is when it does rain, and now it's really raining even harder, you see these drivers, there is a wet line and there is a dry line, and you're really seeing these guys stick to the dry line, to the wet line as much as possible as they can. But as the rain continues to come down, it doesn't matter which line you're in, other than you've got to be careful, because if you run that dry line, that's where it gets a little bit slipperier. There is just no grip when it rains.
Yeah, with the kind of rain we're getting now, these heavy downpours, like you said, the wet line is really no longer advantageous, but you just need to stay off that dry line. So they're really just hunting and looking for wherever they can find grip. And unfortunately, as the rain comes and goes, that line changes throughout the race. So they're constantly adjusting their line, through in this case, I think 20-minute race.
Aaron, I want to thank you so much for your time and joining us here on the broadcast. Glad we made it happen, especially with the weather delay after you've been running around the track, getting your steps in.
No, I really appreciate you guys giving me the opportunity to stop in and say hi. It's always great seeing you. Look forward to seeing you guys at more races with PCA.
Appreciate it. Welcome. Thank you very much. Tell you what, with that, let's go ahead. Let's take our quick break. We'll come right back. We'll pick up the last half of this action as the rain really starting to come down now. Harder than I think it's ever been pretty much all day. So with that, let's go ahead. We'll take a break. We'll come back here to Lime Rock. We'll pick up the rest of this green group for this 33rd Connecticut Valley Regions Racing into Spring, presented by Danbury Porsche.
OG Racing has been a national sponsor of PCA Club Racing since 1998. Headquartered in Sterling, Virginia, and staffed by PCA members and club racers, OG Racing has always carried the industry's best in racing safety equipment and performance parts. The best products from manufacturers like Sparco, O&P, Alpine Stars, helmets from Bell, Stilo, Rue, brake pads from Performance Friction, Paget and Hawk, just to name a few, and are always in stock and ready to ship from their 12,000 square foot warehouse. Give OG Racing a call or visit them at www.ogracing.com and sign up for their newsletter.
About to hit the track without coverage for your car? Buy HPDE insurance in minutes at LockedInMotorsports.com. Whether you drive a 911 or a Boxster, protect your car against physical damage during HPDE and track day events with HPD insurance from